This summer, he'd tell Mother at the start of every vacation, I'm really going to teach you, if it's the last thing I do. It's dangerous not to know how to swim. What would you do if you were on a boat that sank? Leave me with a dozen children on my hands, I suppose. After all, you should have some consideration for me. I'll try again, Mother said patiently, but you could tell she knew it was hopeless. Once they had gone down to the beach, Dad would take her hand and lead her. Mother would start out bravely enough, but would begin holding back about the time the water got to her knees. We'd form a ring around her and offer her what encouragement we could. That's the girl, Mother, we'd say. It's not going to hurt you. Look at me, look at me. Please don't splash, Mother would say. You know how I hate to be splashed. For Lord's sakes, Lily, said Dad, come out deeper. Isn't this deep enough? You can't learn to swim if you're hard aground. No matter how deep we go, I always end up aground anyway. Don't be scared now. Come on. This time it will be different. You'll see. Dad towed her out until the water was just above her waist. Now the first thing you have to do, he said, is learn the dead man's float. If a dead man can do it, so can you. I don't even like its name. It sounds ominous. Like this, Mother. Look at me. You kids clear out, said Dad. But Lily, if the children can do it, you, a grown woman, should be able to. Come on now. You can't help but float because the human body, when inflated with air, is lighter than water. You know I always sink. That was last year. Try it now. Be a sport. I won't let anything happen to you. I don't want to. You don't want to show the white feather in front of all the kids. I don't care if I show the whole albatross, Mother said. But I don't suppose I'll have another minute's peace until I try it. So here goes. And remember, I'm counting on you not to let anything happen to me. You'll float, don't worry. Mother took a deep breath, stretched herself out on the surface, and sank like a stone. Dad waited a while, still convinced that under the laws of physics, she must ultimately rise. When she didn't, he finally reached down in disgust and fished her up. Mother was gagging, choking up water, and furious. See what I mean? She finally managed. Dad was furious too. Are you sure you didn't do that on purpose? He asked her. Mercy, Maud, Mother sputtered. Mercy, mercy, Maud. Do you think I like it down there in Davy Jones' locker? Davy Jones' locker, scoffed Dad. Why, you weren't even 4 feet underwater. You weren't even in his attic. Well, it seemed like his locker to me, and I'm never going down there again. You ought to be convinced by now that Archimedes' principle simply doesn't apply, so far as I'm concerned. Coughing and blowing her nose, Mother started for the beach. I still don't understand it, Dad muttered. She's right. It completely refutes Archimedes. Dad had promised before we came to Nantucket that there would be no formal studying, no language records, and no school books. He kept his promise, although we found he was always teaching us things informally when our backs were turned. For instance, there was the matter of the Morse code. I have a way to teach you the code without any studying, he announced one day at lunch. We said we didn't want to learn the code, that we didn't want to learn anything until school started in the fall. There's no studying, said Dad, and the ones who learn it first will get rewards. The ones who don't learn it are going to wish they had. After lunch, he got a small paintbrush and a can of black enamel and locked himself in the lavatory, where he painted the alphabet in code on the wall. For the next 3 days, Dad was busy with his paintbrush, writing code over the whitewash in every room in the shoe. On the ceiling in the dormitory bedrooms, he wrote the alphabet together with key words, whose accents were a reminder of the code for the various letters. It went like this. A ... about. B ... boisterously. C ... careless. Children. D ... dangerous, etc. When you lay on your back dozing, the words kept going through your head, and you'd find yourself saying, dangerous, dangerous. He painted secret messages in code on the walls of the front porch and dining room. "What do they say, Daddy?" we asked him. "Many things," he replied mysteriously. "Many secret things, and many things of great humor." We went into the bedrooms and copied the code alphabet on pieces of paper. Then, referring to the paper, we started translating Dad's messages. He went right on painting as if he were paying no attention to us, but he didn't miss a word. "Lord, what awful puns," said Anne. "And this, I presume, is meant to fit into the category of things of great humor. Listen to this one. Be it ever so bumble, there's no place like comb." "And we're stung," Ern moaned. "We're not going to be satisfied until we translate them all. I see dash dot, and I hear myself repeating careless children. What's this one say? We figured it out. When ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be white. And another by courtesy of Mr. Irvin S. Cobb. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you may diet. And still another which mother made Dad paint out. Two maggots were fighting in dead earnest. That one is Eskimo, said Mother. I won't have it in my dining room, even in Morse code. All right, boss, Dad grinned sheepishly. I'll paint over it. It's already served its purpose anyway. Every day or so after that, Dad would leave a piece of paper containing a Morse code message on the dining room table. Translated, it might read something like this. The first one who figures out the secret message should look in the right-hand pocket of my linen knickers, hanging on a hook in my room. Daddy. Or, hurry up before someone beats you to it, and look in the bottom left drawer of the sewing machine. In the knickers pocket and in the drawer would be some sort of reward. A Hershey bar, a quarter, a receipt entitling the bearer to 1 chocolate ice cream soda at Coffin's drugstore, payable by Dad on demand. Some of the Morse code notes were false alarms. Hello, live bait. This one is on the house. No reward. But there may be a reward next time. When you finish reading this, dash off like mad so the next fellow will think you are on some hot clue. Then he'll read it too, and you won't be the only one who got fooled. Daddy. As Dad had planned, we all knew the Morse code fairly well within a few weeks. Well enough, in fact, so that we could tap out messages to each other by bouncing the tip of a fork on a butter plate. When a dozen or so persons all attempt to broadcast in this manner, and all of us preferred sending to receiving, the accumulation is loud and nerve-shattering. A present-day equivalent might be reproduced if the sound effects man on Gangbusters and Walter Winchell should go in the air simultaneously before a battery of powerful amplifiers. The wall writing worked so well in teaching us the code that Dad decided to use the same system to teach us astronomy. His first step was to capture our interest, and he did this by fashioning a telescope from a camera tripod and a pair of binoculars. He tote the contraption out into the yard on clear nights and look at the stars while apparently ignoring us. We'd gather around and nudge him and pull at his clothes, demanding that he let us look through the telescope. Don't bother me, he'd say, with his nose stuck into the glasses. Oh my golly, I believe those 2 stars are going to collide. No, awfully close, though. Now I've got to see what the old beetle's up to. What a star, what a star. Daddy, give us a turn, we'd insist. Don't be a pig. Finally, with assumed reluctance, he'd agree to let us look through the glasses. We could see the ring on Saturn, 3 moons on Jupiter, and the craters on our own moon. Dad's favorite was Betelgeuse, the yellowish-red old beetle in the Orion constellation. He took a personal interest in her because some of his friends were collaborating in experiments to measure her diameter by Michelson's interferometer.